Hello and welcome to Camera Reviews. This book has a special place on my bookshelf. It's from the late Tim Hetherington. It's a book called Infidel. It was published by Chris Boot around, I think, 2010. Sadly, it was published in the year before Tim was sadly killed in Libya, alongside another fantastic photographer called Chris Hondras. I wanted to show the book because I think it's a beautiful book. It's a fantastic body of work. There's nothing really to fault with it, to be honest. Even the presentation is fantastic. Chris has done a really good job with the book itself. I just want to go through it, give a little insight into it. You can still buy this on Amazon. I just want to go through it, let you have a look at some of the work, let you get and have an insight into the work of Tim and Sebastian Junger, who is the author and co-collaborator on the project with Tim. And I'll leave a link for the Tim Hetherington Foundation, which you can delve into and find out a lot more about Tim. Tim was quite renowned for spending a lot of time in Liberia. His book, A Long Story Bit by Bit, is another book you can purchase, and I'll see if I can get a hold of a copy and talk about it on here. But all that information will be on the link of the Tim Hetherington Foundation, so I think you should check it out. Anyway, let's look at the book. Dimension-wise, 6 and a bit by 8 and a bit. It's got that zine size, but what's beautiful about it, it's like I think it's case bound. It's got a bit of fabric down the spine. It's got like a diary feel to it. It's floppy. It's got a lovely finished, almost like a leather book. It's almost like a journal, you know, and like a diary feel to it. You can buy them sort of W.H. Smith diaries and day by day diaries. It's got this sort of unique feel to it, which I love. And that's the spine, Tim Hetherington, Infidel, boot. Okay, sadly got a little bit of damage there. For he who gives his life shall always be my brother. So I'm under the impression that this whole book came about with a commission by Vanity Fair. I think they commissioned Tim and Sebastian to go out and embed themselves in the Korengal Valley in Afghanistan with the American troops. And I think they both spent a considerable amount of time out there. And I think Tim spent, I presume it was Tim, Sebastian could have been there as well, for, I think, it became a year-long project after this, a 2-year project. Don't quote me on the facts. Have a little look and find out. There's some text here. I presume that text is by Sebastian. I may be wrong. Some really fantastic photography. Some nice light as well. Beautiful portraits. I'm skimming the book. I'm not going to show you all of it. You know, I think Tim's whole point and whole angle was to when was capturing the camaraderie and the togetherness of these guys as fighting and working as a unit. I think it's a beautiful observation. I think there's obviously a lot of trust involved with getting this access and these guys trusting somebody like Tim to come in and document this. I met Tim many years ago up in the north of England, and he was a lovely guy. He was a great photographer, a great visionary. somebody who just got out and went, and sadly, eventually it cost him his life in Libya when he went off to cover the escalating situation there, and he was sadly killed in a mortar attack. And it doesn't seem like it was 7 years ago. It was a very sad day for photography. I think the book is bringing together the moments, the passiveness of the situation, the surreal aspect of the situation in a negative environment where the lives are literally on a balance and they could be attacked. They could attack any minute. There's that sort of line between death and being alive, and the pictures show like this brotherhood, these people as just human beings in another country. And there's tons of negative connotations about war. There's tons of things you can look at and think, and I'm sure there are people looking at this, well, you know, they're not impressed, they're not happy with Americans, blah, blah, blah. But that's for you, and that's your prerogative, that's your opinion, and I respect that. And I'm not trying to glorify this, and I don't think Tim is either. What I think he's trying to glorify is human nature and bonding, and a group of young guys put in another country, being paid, defending the land, defending their flag, defending their honour, whichever way you want to look at it. And I think it's a sort of coming together of human spirits, and I think that's beautiful in a way, regardless of what the situation is. And it's quite an intimate book and a portrayal of a war zone. But I haven't shown you all the images. Go back on the text. That's one of the famous shots from the series in that. This looks like a sort of insight or a discussion on the soldiers. Also, as part of the series, Tim did a series of the guys sleeping. I'm going to show you a couple of shots from that. And it's that time and period where they're not there, they're in another plane, they're asleep. It's a bit, I guess this is the only time which takes themselves away from the situation. Thousands of miles from home, stationed in another country, which is pretty alien to them. Anyway, that was a brief insight, and that's what I'm trying to do with these. I'm trying to give you a little bit of an open door to the works of certain people. Chris Boot has got a lot of books. He's published a lot of really interesting books. I'll find some more. I've got a couple more. I think you should check out Tim and educate yourself in the work of Tim Hetherington. Educate yourself and buy this book and have a look at it and make an opinion on it. I hope I've opened a door for you to go out and think about at least looking at the work of Tim. Thank you.